preparing to leave, setting up your meeting for YouTube.
Okay.
Leave.
Shalom, everybody. Okay. In this time, we will reading the Bible with CSB translation. Okay. We CSB English version. Okay. We're starting with Genesis chapter 21 to 25.
I will read Genesis chapter 21, the birth of Isaac. Verse 1,
Isaac.
the Lord came to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age. At the appointed time, God had told him, Abraham named his son, who was born to him, the one Sarah bore to him, Isaac. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has made me laugh,
Laugh.
and everyone, what? Love,
Laugh.
love, and everyone who hears will laugh with me. She also said, who would have told Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne a son for him in his old age.
Hagar and Ishmael sent away. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham held a great feast on the day Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw the son mocking, the one Hagar and the Egyptian had borne to Abraham. So she said to Abraham, drive out this slave with her son, for the son of this slave will not be co-heir with my son Isaac. This is very distressing to Abraham because of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed because the boy and about your slave. Whatever Sarah said to you, listen to her, because your offspring will be traced through Abraham, Isaac, and I will also make a nation of the slave son, because he is your offspring. Early in the morning, Abraham got up, took bread and water skin, put them on Hagar's shoulder, and sent her and the boy away. She left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she left the boy under one of the bushes, and went and sat at a distance, about a bow's shot away. For she said, I can bear to watch the boy die. while she sat at a distance, she wept loudly. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called the Hagar from heaven and said to her, "What's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid, for God was heard the boy crying from the place where he is. Get up, help the boy up, and grasp his hand, for I will make him a great nation." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well. So she went and filled the water skin and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy, and he grew. He settled in the wilderness and became an archer. An archer. He settled in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt.
Okay. Abraham's covenant with Abimelech. At that time, Abimelech, accompanied by Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Swear to
Swear,
me, swear to me by God here and now that you will not break an agreement with me or with my children and descendants, as I have been loyal to you, so you will be loyal to me and to the country where you are a resident alien. And Abraham said, I swear it. But Abraham complained to Abimelech because of the well that Abimelech's servants has seized. Abimelech replied, I don't know who did this thing. You didn't report anything to me, so I hadn't heard
hurt,
about it until today. What?
hurt,
Heard heard about it until today. Abraham took flocks and herds and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. Abraham separated seven Eve lambs from the flock, and Abimelech said to Abraham, why have you separated these seven Eve lambs? He replied, you are to accept the seven Eve lambs from me so that this act will serve as my witness that I took this well. Therefore, that place was called Beersheba, because it was there that the two of them swore an oath after they had made a covenant at Beersheba. Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, left and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a
planted,
tamarisk. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham lived as an alien in the
as
land of
an alien,
Philistines. What?
as an alien
And Abraham lived as an alien
An
in the an
an
as
alien,
an is an alien in the
an
land of the
an alien in the land, an
live
alien,
live as an
an an
alien
an
an
not an, but
alien,
an.
and Abraham lived as an alien in the land of the Philistines for many days. Continues. The
The sacrifice of Isaac. After this thing, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, here I am. He answered, take your son, he said, your only son, Isaac, whom you love. Go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. So Abraham got up early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took with him two of his young men and his son Isaac. He split wood for a burnt offering and set out to go to the place God had told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Then Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey, the boy, and I will go over there to worship. Then we'll come back to you. Abraham took the wood for burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac. In the in his hand he took the fire and the knife, and two of them walked on together. Then Isaac spoke to his father Abraham and said, my father. And he replied, here I am, my son. Isaac said, the fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. Then the two of them walked on together. When they arrived at the place that God had told him about, Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood. He bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar on top the mount wood. Then Abraham reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham, he replied, here I am. Then he said, do not lay a hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your only son from me. Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in the thicket in horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it a burnt offering in the place of his son. And Abraham named the place the Lord will provide. So today it is said, it will be provided on the Lord's mountain. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, be myself, I have sworn. This is the Lord's declaration. Because you have done this thing and have not withheld with your only son, I will indeed bless you and make your offspring as numerous as stars of the sky and the sand of the seashores. Your offspring will possess the city gates of their enemies, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by offspring, because you have obeyed my command. Abraham went back to his young men, and they got up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham settled in the Beersheba.
Rebecca family. Now, after these things, Abraham was told, Milcah also has borne sons to your brother Nahor. Uz, his firstborn, his brother Buz, Kemuel, the father of Aram, Kesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlap, and And Bethuel fathered Rebekah. Milcah bore these 8 to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore Tebah, Gaham, Tahas, and Makkah. I will read this. Sarah's burial. Now Sarah lived 127 years. These were all the years of her life. Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. When Abraham got up from beside his dead wife, he spoke to the Hittites. I am an alien residing among you. Give me burial property among you, so that I can bury my dead. The Hittites replied to Abraham, Listen to us, my Lord. You are a prince of God among us. Bury your dead in our finest burial place. None of us will withhold from his burial place for burying your dead. Then Abraham rose and bowed down to the Hittites, the people of the land. He said to them, If you are willing for me to bury my dead, listen to me and ask Ephron, son of Zohar, on my behalf to give me the cave of Machpelah that belongs to him. It is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me in your presence for the full price as burial property. Ephron was sitting among the Hittites, so in the hearing of all the Hittites was came to the gate of his city. Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham, No, my lord, listen to me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the sight of my people. Bury, bury your dead. Abraham bowed down to the people of the land and said to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, Listen to me, if you please. Let me pay the price of the field, accept it from me, and let me bury my dead there. Ephron answered Abraham and said to him, My lord, listen to me. Land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? Bury your dead. Abraham agreed with Abram Abraham, and Abraham weighed out to Abram the silver that he had agreed to in the hearing of the Hittites for 400 standard shekels of silver. So Abram's field at the Machpelah near Mamre, the field with its cave and all the trees anywhere within the boundaries of the field became Abraham's possessions in the sight of the Hittites who came to the gate of his city. After this, Abraham buried his wife Sarah in the cave of the field at Machpelah near Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. The field with its cave passed from the Hittites to Abraham as burial property. Your turn to read.
Wherefore Isaac. Abraham was now old, getting on in years, and the Lord had blessed him in everything. Abraham said to his servant, the elder of his household, who managed all he owned, place your hand under my tithes, and I will have you swear by my Lord, by the Lord, God of heaven and God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughter of the Canaanite among whom I live, but I will go to my land and my family to take a wife for my son Isaac. The servant said to him, suppose the woman is unwilling to follow me to this land. Should I have your son go back to the land you came from? Abram answered him, make sure that you don't take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, who who took me from my father's house and from my native land, spoke to me and swore to me, I will give this land to your offspring. He will send his angel before you, and you can take my wife for my son from there. If the woman is unwilling to follow you, then you are free from this oath to me. But don't let my son go back there. So the servant placed his hand under his master Abraham, died and swore an oath to him concerning this matter. The servant took then 10 of his master's camel and with all kind of his master's goods in hand, he went to Aram Naharaim to Nahoton at evening, the time when women went out to draw water. He met the camel nailed beside a well outside the town. Lord, God of my master Abraham, he prayed, make this happen for me today, and show kindness of my master Abraham. I am standing here, and the offspring where this daughter of the men of the town are coming out to draw water. Let the girl to whom I say, please lower your water jug so that I might drink, and will respond, drink, and I'll water your camel also. Let her be the one, and you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. Before he had finished speaking, there was Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, and the wife of Abraham, brother Nahor, coming with the jug on her shoulder. Now the girl was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had been intimate with her. She went down to his spring, filled her jug, and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please let me have a little water from your jug." She replied, "Drink." Lord, she quickly lowered his jug to her hand and gave him a drink. When he had finished giving him a drink, she said, "I'll also draw water for your camel until they have had enough to drink," and quickly emptied her jug into the trough and hurried to the well again to draw water. She drew water for all his camels, while the man silently watched her to see whether or not the Lord had made his journey a success. As the camels finished drinking, the man took a cold drink, walking half a cycle for her wrist to bracelet, weighing 10 shekels of gold. "Whose daughter are you?" he asked. "Please tell me. This is their room is your father house for us to spend the night." She answered him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor." She also said to him, "We have plenty of straw and spit and a place to spend the night." Then the man knelt down, worshipped the Lord, and said, "Blessed be your Lord, the God of any master of Abraham, who has not withheld with kindness and faithfulness from my master. For me, the Lord has led me on the journey to the house of my master relative." The girl ran and told her mother's household about this thing. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and Laban ran out to the man at offspring, and soon he had seen the ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrist, and when he had heard his sister Rebekah's word, the man said to me, he went to the man. He was standing there by a camel at the spring. Laban said, "Come, you who blessed by the Lord, why are you standing out here? I have prepared my house and place for the camels." So the man came to his hold, and the camels were unloaded, and fuel were given the camel, and water to brook to wash his feet and the feet for man with him.
I will read
Feet,
Emil,
okay, your turn.
chapter 24, verse 33. A meal was set before him, but he said, "I will not eat until I have said what I have to say." So Laban said, "Please speak." "I am Abraham's servant," he said. "The Lord has greatly blessed my master, and he has become rich. He has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female slaves, and camels and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master in her old age, and he has given him everything he owns. My master put me under his oath. You will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose land I live, but will go to my father's family and to my clan to take a wife for my son. But I said to my master, suppose the woman will not come back with me. He said to me, the Lord before whom I have walked with will send his angel with you and make your journey a success. And you will take a wife for my son from my clan and from my father's family. Then you will be free from my oath. If you go to my family and they do not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. Today, when I came to the spring, I pray, Lord God of my master Abraham, if only you will make my journey successful, I, I am standing here at a spring. Let the young woman who comes out to draw water, I say to her, please let me drink a little water from your jug, and who responds to me, drink, I will draw water from your camels also. Let her be the woman the Lord has appointed for my master's son. Before I had finished praying silently, there was Rebekah coming with her jug on her shoulder, and she went down to the spring and drew water. I said to her, please let me have a drink. So quickly lowered her jug from me shoulder from her shoulder and said, drink, and I'll water you camels also. So I drank, and she also watered the camels. Then I asked her, whose daughter are you? She responded, the daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, who Milcah bore to him. So I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrist. Then I knelt low, worship the Lord, and bless the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who guided me on the right way to take the granddaughter of my master's brother for his son. Now, if you are going to show kindness and faithfulness to my master, tell me. If not, tell me, and I will go elsewhere. Laban and Bethuel answered, wait for me, okay? Just 2 minutes. Okay. I'll back. Verse 50. Okay. I will write. Laban and Bethuel answer, "This is from the Lord. We have no choice in the matter. Rebekah is here in front of you. Take her and go, and let her be a wife for your master's son, just as the Lord has spoken." When Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed to the ground before the Lord. Then he brought out objects of silver and gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious gifts to her brother and her mother. Then he and the man with him ate and drank and spent the night. When they got up in the morning, he said, "Send me to my master." But her brother and mother said, "Let the girl stay with us for about 10 days. Then she can go." But he responded to them, "Do not delay me, since the Lord has made my journey a success. Send me away so that I may go to my master." So they said, "Let's call the girl and ask her opinion." They called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" She replied, "I will go." So they sent away their sister Rebekah with the one who had nursed and raised her, and Abraham's servant and his men. They blessed Rebekah, saying to her, "Our sister, may you become thousands upon 10,000s. May your offspring possess the city gates of their enemies." Then Rebekah and her female servants got up, mounted the camels, and followed the men. So the servant took Rebekah and left. Now Isaac was returning from Beer Lahai Roi, for he was living in the Negev region. In the early evening, Isaac went out to walk in the field, and looking up, he saw camels coming. Rebecca looked up, and when she saw Isaac, she got down from her camel and asked the servant, "Who is that man in the field coming to meet us?" The servant, the servant answered, "It is my master." So she took her veil and covered herself. Then the servant told Isaac everything he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah and took Rebekah to be his wife. Isaac loved her, and he was comforted after his mother's death. Next, chapter 25. How many? How many verse? Only 20. 24 or 8. Oh, 36. Abraham's older wife and sons. Are you there? We divided. Okay, we divided bagi 36 divided 2 become what? 15 plus 3. 13, 18 verse each other. Abraham's other wife and sons. Abraham had taken another wife whose name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, Joksan, Medan, Midian, Isbak, and Suah. Joksan father Seba and Didan. Didan's sons were the Ashurim, Letushim, and Leumim. And Midian's sons were Epah, Eper, Hanok, Abida, Eldaah. All these were sons of Keturah. Abraham gave everything he owed to Isaac. But Abraham gave gifts to the son of his concubines, and while he was still alive, he sent them eastward away from his son Isaac to the land of the east. Abraham's death. This is the length of Abraham's life. 175 years. He took his last breath and died at a good old age, old and contented. and he was gathered to his people. His sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite. This was the field that Abraham bought from the Hittites. Abraham was buried there with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who lived near Beer Lahai Roi. Ismael's family records. These are the family records of Abraham's son Ismael, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's slave, born to Abraham. These are the names of Ismael's sons, their name according to the family records at Nebaioth. Ismael's firstborn, then Kedar, Abdel, Mibsam, Mishma, Dumah, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Nafis, and Kedemah. These are Ismael's sons, and these are their names by their settlements and encampments, 12 leaders of their clans. This is the length of Ismael's life, 137 years. He took his last breath and died, and was gathered to his people, and they settled from Havilah to Sur, which is opposite Egypt, as you go toward Assur. He stayed near all his relatives. The birth of Jacob and Esau. These are the family records of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham fathered Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took as his wife Rebekah, daughters of Bethuel the Aramean from Paddan Aram, and sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord was receptive to his prayer, and his wife Rebekah conceived. But the children inside her struggled with each other, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb. The two people will come from you and be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When her time came to give birth, there were indeed twins in her womb. The first one came out red looking, covered with hair like a fur coat, and they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out grasping Esau's heel with his hand. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. Esau sells his birth, birthright. Wait, wait. When the Esau sell his birthright. When the boy grew up, Esau became an expert hunter and outdoorsman. But Jacob was a quiet man who stayed at home. Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for wild game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau came in, came in from the field ex-house. He said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red stuff, because I am exhausted." That is why he was also named Edom. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." "Look," said Esau, "I am about to die. So what good is a birthright to me?" Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore to Jacob and sold his birthright to him. Then Jacob gave bread and lentil stew to Esau. He ate, drank, get up, and went away. So Esau despised his birthright. This is complete reading Bible Genesis
Okay, thank you.
chapter
Okay,
21 to 25.
okay, okay. Still on. You not stop the
Screen. I will stop the screen. Wait.
stop streaming. I mean,
Yes.
okay. Thank you. I must go. My eyes is hard to open it now.